We didn't think we'd be making this video so quickly, but the Skyline is already gone and sold, and we didn't even get it to the auctions. If you're new to Project B or the Lemon to Lambo challenge, it is where myself and Morgan go from car to car to hopefully one day get that Lamborghini.
Yep, so last time we left you guys was the Skyline. We put it on our car lift and we had a look on the underbody and found a couple things that I guess needed to be done and would just take up our time. So we thought, why don't we just put it at the auctions, see if we can make some money that way. And what do we do?
Yeah, so that was the plan. And the Skyline, it definitely is not a bad car. It's a great car. It required more time than we were able to give it. So we were planning on putting it through the auctions, but we just thought maybe there's someone out on Facebook or somewhere that's looking for a Skyline that wants a bit of a project, a bit of work. So we did put the feelers out and put it up on Facebook just for that short little while before we were planning on putting it through the auctions. And amazingly, we had a lot of people wanting to buy it. It actually sold the next day. So that was quite surprising for us. But you're probably wondering, how did we go? So in this episode, we're going to go through all the costs, what it cost us to buy the car, as well as all the different things that we did, and whether or not ultimately we came out on top or if we lost some money along the way. So I've got my phone, I've got the new phone, and I've got the pricing of everything that we went through. Now, a bit on the car. It was a Nissan Skyline R33 GTST coupe that was manual. So as far as Skylines go, ignoring GTRs, they're a whole different thing. Coupe, big tick. Manual, big tick. Turbo from the factory, big tick. So it was already a really desirable car to begin with, especially the Ks, 147,000 Ks, I believe it was. Most of your Skylines, you're looking at around about 200s plus. It is getting harder to find Skylines with under, and Sylvias for that matter, under the 200,000 Ks. What we were looking at, it was hard because pricing was all over the place. We had some that were listed for 40 grand and we had others that were listed for like 19, 20. So we picked up the car for $15,500.
And the condition of us picking it up, you're probably thinking, okay, the 19 to 40 grand, wow, that's like the craziest deal. It wasn't running.
Yes, the car didn't run. When we jump started it, sorry, it wouldn't start. When we jump started it, it wouldn't run. But the brief chuffing it did, we thought that mechanically the car was fine. I got maybe like 100 meters before it died on me when I was testing it out. So that was the condition that we went in, and the buyer obviously, the seller obviously knew that, and that hence why we got a good price. So $15,500, I think it's up there. Yep. Put that up there. Right away, things that were blaringly obvious that the car needed was a bonnet. It had none. So we bought a bonnet. It was in fact the last OEM Nissan R33 bonnet in the country, which was so lucky for us. But it did cost quite a bit. So that one was $750 primered. So we still needed to paint on top of that. We found out as well that because this guy had been trying to start the car constantly, the battery had gone. We tried reconditioning it, it didn't work. So we had to buy a new battery. That was $170. And then we started to delve in. When I say we, I mean me, because at this time Morgan still hadn't sold his MX-5. So I delved into why this car would not start, and found in fact that it had the wrong starter motor. So it was a starter motor from an R32 RB20. There is some interchangeability between them, but I'm not too clear on it. So we bench tested the starter and it didn't work at all. So it was a dead starter. We then bought a secondhand R33 RB25 Series 1 starter motor, which was 150 bucks, and straight away the car started perfectly. So we fixed the fact that it wouldn't start. It wouldn't run though. So that was the next thing. Turns out it needed fuel.
Yep. It was.
That is why. So crazy to think that a car needs fuel to run.
Yeah.
So once we put some fuel in it, that worked. Now, having it sit in our shed, it can start, it can run. We started looking at the things on the outside that detracted from the value. One of them was the big spoiler.
I think some of you may have liked it. I think it's definitely not our choice, and I think for the most part, most people probably aren't into it. So we decided,
So we decided to sell that. I'll get back to how much money we at the end of how much we sold stuff for. But we had to buy a new spoiler fin. So it wasn't an actual GTR kind of wing upright, but it was the style of the R33 GTR upright. So all we needed to buy was that blade. That one was $316, right up there. We then noticed that the intercooler system with the bonnet was most likely not going to work because they'd gone with a 3-inch intercooler system, which because it had an aftermarket radiator, pushed the cooling fans out, and the J pipe and the crossover pipe just didn't work. So we had to buy an intercooler kit. That was $287. Not terrible. We then immediately, as soon as I was able to get putt around for the 100 meters or so, we knew that we needed to throw out bearing. There was quite a bit of clutch noise when we engaged the clutch. So we bought that throwout bearing. That was $124. We didn't end up putting that in. We just included that with the sale of the car to the new owner. Turns out the intercooler kit, whether or not we didn't have the couplers left on the car or the intercooler kit didn't come with it, who knows. We did have to buy some silicone couplers as well as one more clasp. So that was $27 for another silicone coupler and another clasp, which was $9.50. Then we came into, where are we? The wheels. So the wheels that were on it were interesting, to say the least. Very big, very rubber band tires. Some people like them. We personally don't. So we ended up selling those wheels and buying another set of wheels, which you would have noticed were our rotor grids. The full set was $500, including tires that were new. It still had all the little fairy bits on it, which I thought was a steal. We though did have to paint them. And that's where we ran into issues of plasti dip and all that kind of crap. So to paint the wheels was $205 in all the spray paint, the prep, sandpaper, the paint thinner, or paint stripper, all up, everything was $205. Because we got the new bonnet and it was OEM from Nissan, it didn't actually come with our windshield washer jets, so we had to buy those. Those were $61. What else? Then we came to the biggest expense outside of buying the car, which was paint. Oh man, paint is expensive.
And actually a little backstory as well, this wasn't just paint.
It was bodywork.
It was bodywork because unfortunately in transit, the bonnet did get damaged.
Yes, so unfortunately, if anyone's bought a bonnet from Nissan, it has in big writing, "this way up." So the box is always the right way up. Well, obviously along the line with the courier, someone didn't see the big giant writing this big, "this way up," and they put it that way up. So unfortunately, the two corners where the bonnet meets up with the windshield and the quarter panels, were slightly bent. So we had to have some bodywork done on each of those corners, get them straightened out again, as well as paint the entire bonnet, which came to $1,120. That is an expensive bonnet. So all up, the bonnet was $1,870, just shy of $2,000 for a
And you're probably thinking,
bonnet.
why don't you buy a second-hand one? As I think you touched on before,
Yes.
there's just a shortage.
I couldn't
a
find one.
massive
The one
shortage.
I could find, it was already bent, and it had paint chips galore, paint flaking, and he was wanting $700 for his bonnet. So to pay $50 more for a brand new primed bonnet, much rather go that route. So all in all, the pricing might be a little different because Morgan doesn't include cents, but the total expenditure of the R33 was $19,220.60. So somewhere around there, Morgan will figure it out. We did though sell some parts. So the spoiler that we had that we didn't like, it was too fast and furious for us, we sold for $400. So that completely paid for the new spoiler we put on and some. The car did come with some side skirts. We just decided not to run them because they're a bit eBay
fiddly.
spec.
And I think it looked fine without them anyway. So.
Yeah. So we sold the side skirts. They were $250. And the wheels, we thought we were going to have to beg people to take them away. No, we ended up selling them for $600. So, all in all, the car actually cost us $17,970.60. Again, it might be slightly different because Morgan doesn't add the cents. So, all in the car, we were just shy of 18 grand. Now, you're probably wondering, how much did we sell it for? Morgan?
Well, you say we, I mean, you
I
do
sold
the sell,
it,
but
yep.
A whopping, drum roll, 19,000.
So we did make a grand, but I think it was fair.
Yeah.
Now, I know a few people probably say, well, okay, why didn't you just, do the throughout bearing, find fender liners, and then, rego it, roadworthy it. At that point, cosmetically it looks good, but then the window's not working, the blower motor, the radio, all these little things just start detracting from it. And when you're asking people to spend, near on $30,000 for a car, you kind of expect those things to work. So even though it was a very clean car, mechanically good, to have those problems as well with rego, we're really probably only looking at about 22,000 or so. Now we could have, like we mentioned in the last video, we could have kept working away at it and just gone, sorry guys, you're not going to get much content, and fix the windows, fix the AC, fix the radio, have everything schmick. And yes, we probably could have sold that for the high 20s, maybe even 30 grand. But we'd probably be selling it around Christmas time, which is not the best time to sell a car. It's not impossible, but yeah. So yeah, we thought someone else can jump on this opportunity, get a Skyline that's in good condition, considering its age, and hey, we're not going to complain. Profit is profit, and that is progress in the challenge. So yeah, that was our Skyline. We came out on top. It's unfortunate how it kind of panned out, but I don't think it's going to be the last Skyline. I think going down the line, when we've got a bit more budget so we can do multiple cars, then I think that's when those kind of cars that we can tinker around with and leave it on hold for a little bit. That'll be when we attack those kind of cars. But you're probably wondering, what is our budget? Because we had the MX-5, we had the Skyline, so we've got no cars now. How much money do we have? I need to open up my bank account. Oh, sorry, our bank account. Alrighty. Morgan.
Yep.
How much do you think we have?
I'm gonna take a educated guess at 27,000.
Our new budget is $27,870.
Okay.
So we've got quite a bit of money to play with, definitely enough to do multiple kind of cheap first cars. So what does this mean? It means we are back at the auctions.
Yep.
We are back hunting for some cars. And I would like to try and get one car done, and then hopefully we start a challenge or something over the Christmas time. Bit of a friendly competition.
Yep.
And go from there.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, so thanks heaps for watching. Let us know below, we're getting a little bit more money. What should we get? What haven't we done so far? We haven't touched a Falcon. Yeah, but thanks heaps for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. We're probably auction. Yeah, probably at the auctions maybe, unless we do more stuff on the way. I don't know. There'll be another episode coming out on Tuesday, by the time, on Friday, by the time this one comes out. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks, and we'll see you guys later.